Police have issued an emergency number for anyone concerned about the crash. It is 0800 092 0410. They do say that people should only ring if they have genuine fears for the welfare of a friend or relative. Now, an independent inquiry has been launched into the UK Border Agency, and the Home Secretary has suspended several officials. The allegation is that border controls at Calais and Heathrow were relaxed, and it's not clear what ministers knew or when. With me, our Home Affairs correspondent Simon Israel. What are the allegations first?
Well, as I understand it, the plan was to focus on high-risk travellers with intelligence. In order to do this, they had to free up staff dealing with these long queues at peak times at these places. And so what they did was they issued instructions saying all those with EU biometric passports can be given the nod through at peak times. And what managers did, what certain managers are alleged to have done at UKBA, was apply those measures to non-EU passport holders. And that's a very serious allegation, because that potentially means that they were not applying stringent security checks to potential terror suspects and to criminals.
And so what happened when the allegations came to light?
When the allegations came to light, on Thursday, I understand it, the Home Secretary made the order to suspend at least 4 of the top management team at UKBA operations, the border force, including the head of that border force, Brodie Clark. There may well be a 5th, I'm led to understand, and if there is, that would constitute 1/3 of that entire management team of the border force now on gardening leave, which is, as I understand it, unprecedented.
And what's the Home Office saying?
Well, the Home Office is saying that the Home Secretary has ordered 2 internal inquiries, which may or may not end up with people being fired, plus an independent inquiry by the Border Agency's Inspector John Vine, and that followed Labour's demands today for her to do just that.
The Home Secretary needs to provide some urgent answers, because this is the latest in a catalogue of failures that we've seen at the Borders Agency at a time when 5,000 Borders staff are being cut. There are serious questions about the scale of the cuts and the impact on the decisions that Borders Agency staff are taking, whether that is putting security checks and illegal immigration at risk.
Well, Home Secretaries have lost their jobs over things like this.
Indeed. You may remember in 2006, Charles Clarke was forced to resign over the way the foreign national prisoners and deportation was handled. And this is a very serious issue for the current Home Secretary. And if I may say, this is potentially as big. But ministers deny they've ever issued instructions to the UKBA to cut corners. But there's questions remain. The first question, I think, is, was there anyone who got through, potentially at risk to this country, who got through during the summer? Secondly, how long this had been going on for, and finally, why it took so long, because we're now in November, for ministers to be alerted to this.
Simon Israel.